welcome back. I'm Poppy Webber. I'm a qualified saddle fitter for the Society of Master Saddlers, and this is Pumpkin. And today we're going to take a look at the Acavallo Gel Out Seat Savers. We're going to have a look at one close up. We're going to see what they're about. We're going to talk about them, and then I'm going to show you how to put one on your saddle, because I see so many people put one wrong. So sit back, make yourself a cup of tea, and hopefully enjoy. And please excuse Pumpkin snoring. She's sound asleep. So I'm a full-time saddle fitter, and I see lots of people and lots of horses and lots of saddles, and I also see lots of products that are used with saddles. So I thought it might be a good idea to do some regular videos where we take a closer look at some of these products. And today it's time for the Acavallo Gel Out Seat Saver. Acavallo do a number of different seat savers. They do the gel out and the gel in, and they do a number of different other ones, but they're the main ones. But today we're going to focus on the gel out, because they're the most popular ones that I see, and they're the ones I think are really beneficial. So beneficial for what, you might ask? Well, let's get one out of the packet and we'll have a look at it now. I might need to move the dog. Do you need to move? So here we go. This is the Acavallo Gel Out Seat Saver, how it arrives. It arrives in a nice little box, as we can see. This particular one is brown size medium. So they come in 3 sizes. They come in small, medium and large. The size that they put on the website is a small one is for like a small pony saddle, so up to about sort of 16 inches. The medium one is for sort of 16 to 17 inch saddles, and then the large is for 17.5 to 18 inch saddles. But you do sometimes find for the very deep seated saddles, for example, a very deep seated dressage saddle, you might want to go up a size. So sometimes a 17 inch but very deep seated, very large seated dressage saddle, you might actually go up to a large. However, they do have quite a lot of stretch to them, so they tend to mould. So even if when you put them on, first of all, they look a little bit snug on the saddle, they do tend to kind of give and mould. That's a cough, that's not the Rona. So let's get this one out of the packet. As I said, it's a brown medium. Nicely packaged. Now this here is the actual seat saver. Can we see this? So on the outside, it's gel. So that's why it's called the gel out, because the gel is on the outside. They also do one called the gel in, which is basically like this in reverse, which has the gel on the inside, and this almost kind of, it's a material, it's almost a bit kind of felty on the outside. The difference being the gel out, the sticky one on the outside, is sticky. The gel in isn't sticky. But they both have the same kind of shock absorbing properties. So why would you want a seat saver? Well, there's your obvious reasons. You get a sore bum when you're riding. So if you've got a very sensitive bottom or a very hard saddle, then sometimes seat savers, any seat savers can be a really good idea, because they can act like to give you a little bit of softness under your bottom and under your seat bones. Now, so why the gel seat savers? Well, gel is a really good shock absorber. Now, gel does have really good shock absorbing properties, which is why these are very good. Acavallo gel in particular is very nice stuff. It's very nicely made. Anything pretty much with the Acavallo label on it, you can guarantee it's pretty nicely made. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's like gel and it's kind of sticky. Do you remember when you were a kid and you used to get in your stockings little like sticky alien things you used to throw at the wall and they'd go bloop, 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 and kind of crawl down the wall because they were kind of sticky? It's kind of like that kind of sticky. So when you put this on your saddle, you not only have the shock absorbing properties, so there's 10 mils of gel here, so 1 centimetre of gel. So you see, really squishy. So very good shock absorbing properties, but also you have this stickiness. So why would you want stickiness? For the same reason that you might want sticky bum joggers, for example. Some people love sticky bum joggers. I'm one of them. If you love sticky bum joggers, then the chances are you'll also like the Acavallo Gel Out Seat Saver. They give you that same kind of grip in the saddle. So who would benefit from a seat saver? Well, anyone who suffers from an uncomfortable saddle would benefit. Anyone though that suffers from sore lower back, So if you when you ride, you get a bit of like a pain in your lower back, these seat savers can be really good because they act as like a bit of a shock absorber. So they take that shock instead of it going up through your back. The other thing is that what people don't really think about is that if the gel seat saver is absorbing the shock for you going upwards, it's also absorbing some of the shock from you going into the horse. So some people notice their horse going better, even though the gel is between the saddle and their bottom. It absorbs the shock of the rider before it hits the saddle, therefore the horse feels less concussion. So you don't necessarily have to have a gel pad between your saddle and your horse. You can actually put the gel pad on top, and that will help absorb some of the rider shock. Does that make sense? Another person that might benefit from a gel out seat saver, or one of these sticky seat savers, is somebody that falls off regularly. That is because they really do grip you on. So they give you so much grip on the saddle that, say for example you've got a really sharp horse or you're just prone to sort of wobbling off the side, they do give you that extra little bit of grip which can stop that little bit of wobble, which can stop you falling off. If you combine these with sticky bum breeches or sticky bum joggers, which are very popular at the moment, then you really do stick to the saddle. Sometimes so much so that you struggle to even rise out of the saddle properly. I once went to a grid work clinic where there was a row of like 5 bounce fences, and I had my sticky bum joggers and I had an Acavallo gel out seat saver because I was a bit worried about falling off. And I went down this row of bounce fences, 5 bounce fences, and I got, every time I kind of leant forward and kind of slightly took my bottom out of the saddle, my jogger stuck to the seat saver and my body didn't quite so much. So by the time I got to the end of the 5 bounce fences, I was basically pulling Mooney. So that's something to be warned. Maybe don't wear sticky bum joggers and a sticky seat saver if you're going to a grid work clinic where there's bounce fences and your joggers are a little bit loose. But other than that, that gives you an idea of how sticky they really are. They really do stick you to the saddle. So anyone that doesn't like falling off, who does like falling off, anyone that is prone to falling off or has a very sharp horse, or might want them for hacking, for example. So if you've got a horse that's quite sharp out hacking, they can be really good for that. They're also very good, for a similar reason, for nervous riders. So I think that's probably the biggest market as a saddle fitter that I recommend these to are people with sore backs or nervous riders. And that is because they really do make you feel very secure in your saddle. So if you're a bit of a nervous rider, 2 of the things I recommend are change your saddle to something that's really secure and supportive, and try gel out seat saver. And that is because, again, they give you so much grip that they make you feel like you're not going anywhere. Another reason that they can be useful is if you have a very big moving horse. So say you've just got yourself a new horse and it comes along and you've trotted it for the first time and it's amazing, but you end up boinging like this far out of the saddle. You know, those really big, expressive trots that boing you out of the saddle, and then you almost have to double rise because as you hit the saddle, you bounce up again. And yeah, so they're really good for that because they, as you boing out of the saddle, they deaden you as you hit the saddle again, so you don't have that kind of extra bounce that you can get with really big moving horses. So to recap, really good for sore backs, really good for sore hips, really good for sharp horses to give you some grip to stop you from flopping off the side. Really good for nervous riders who just want to feel like they're stuck to their saddle, especially in combination with sticky bum breeches, but not, I repeat, not when doing a grid work clinic, okay? And then last but not least, very good for the big moving, very expressive horses that boing you out of the saddle. And the reason it can do all of the above is because it's shock absorbing. This unique kind of Acavallo gel pattern they've got going on is very, very shock absorbing. It's got that grip to it because it's slightly sticky, and it also sort of stabilizes the rider. So it stabilizes your seat bones and stops you being able to move around so much in the saddle. In terms of washing them and looking after them, they're dead easy to wash. You can pop them in a washing machine, I think, on a 30-degree cycle, or you can just wash it in warm water with fairy liquid. Again, do you remember those things you got in your stocking, those little aliens you threw on the wall and they went wobble down? And then they got covered in fluff and cat hair and dog hair and brother or sister's dribble or whatever. and then you used to wash them in fairy liquid with a little bit of fairy liquid and warm water, and then they'd go sticky again, and they stick to the wall and they go blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so this is the same. So if you wash it in just warm water with a little bit of fairy liquid, once it loses its stick, the stick comes up like new again. Now, how to put them on your saddle. I see so many people that put them on wrong, so I'm going to show you now. I'm going to demonstrate on a saddle how to put it on and what to do with these little bits here, because everybody gets them wrong. Because they've got that kind of ridged feel to them, people think they're meant to sort of stick together. I see people tie them up and all sorts, but that's not how it happens. So I'll go and grab a saddle now, and then I'll show you how to attach your Acavallo Gel Out Seat Saver to your saddle. Bear with. So the first saddle I grabbed was a 17.5 inch. So I've just got out the large version to show you. So this is a little 17.5 inch BSS saddle, one of ours. And this is the black, large Acavallo Gel Out Seat Saver. Now when you look at it, you'll see underneath, it's got a Velcro strap here that kind of comes up and Velcros on there. And it's got these two little wiggly bits here. And it's got these little pockets here. So the first thing that we do when we put it on is you put the back over the cantle of the saddle. You get these little pockets here, you get the skirts, this is called the skirt of the saddle. You tuck that skirt into that little pocket and push it down. Do that on the other side, tuck the skirt in, push it down, and flip up like this. So this is your underside of the saddle. You get this Velcro strap here, this Velcro strap here. You Velcro that up there, so now you've got your little elasticator strap, see this? Running the whole way up the length there. Now, when you flip it over here, you can see it's a bit baggy here. You see? Boing, boing, boing. Well, to stop that from happening, you get these little bits. Now, these are the bits that confuse people because they think that they come underneath here and they join together somehow, but they don't. They come underneath here, and then this little plastic bit on the end tucks in underneath the panel there. You see? So I brought it round and tucked it in there. And then that little grippy bit on the end isn't to join it to the other one, it's to grip onto the underside of the panel. So I pull that out, I bring it round, and I tuck it in under there. Simples. And now when we look at it side on, it's sitting into the saddle. Now once this has been ridden in, it will really squish in. So we make sure everything's tucked in, and then we're good to go. This saddle now has a nice, comfy, secure, squishy, shock absorbing, sticky, going to stop you from falling off, Acavallo Gel Out Seat Saver on. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and as I said earlier, we'll be doing lots more regular videos from now on. So from Pumpkin and myself, thank you so much. See you soon.